the least most entertaining part of the season, which is the beginning, because you're also going against college football and pro football. So you're never going to come out of those 2.5 months, November and December, with great numbers, because this country, it's a football country.
Maybe the coach is cutting down the three-pointers and not shoot so many threes, because, I mean, that's the problem. Just everybody shoots a fast break. No one goes for layups anymore. No one wants to be fouled. No one wants to foul hard. Regular fouls back then, now is getting looked at.
I'm like fixated on what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets next year. Dude, why? Does he get paid to say stupid shit? All right, guys, thanks for jumping on the episode of Fully Loaded here with Chris Carter. How you doing, Bo?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. I appreciate you asking
Happy
me.
holidays.
Happy holidays to you and everybody else, man. So I appreciate you. We'll bring Mike Bibby on in a little bit, but we'll start with Mr. Chris Carter. I want to ask you about what I saw the other night, because I don't know what I saw. I had no volume on the TV, and it looked like that it looked like in the Broncos game they were kicking a field goal, but it looked like they were kicking the ball off, and then the ball went through the uprights and they got 3 points.
Yes.
What the hell happened?
It's called
happened?
It's called situational football, and it's a very, very rare occasions that you see it.
I've never seen it.
Okay, that the defense is punting the ball, and you can call an automatic fair catch, and then which in turn, it almost goes back to the beginning of football. And then you can call for a free kick, which they can't block it. As long as there's time on the clock, you can run a play to get a free kick and kick it without them attempting to block it. So it's one of those things that the coaches always have you practicing for it, and you're like, is this going to ever happen? And then the other night, you saw it. And I'm like, all these coaches now are justified.
The first, for their practicing, something that never happened.
Yes.
You had the air conditioner on? It's 110 degrees in here, bro. You're sweating me out. That was the first. Oh, it was in 40 years on Thursday Night Football. Obscure rule leads. That was the first. For 48 years.
Yeah. So I've been retired 20, and I practiced it for 20. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. But somebody used it.
Yeah.
At some point in time.
Finally.
Wouldn't it be Harbaugh?
Dude, the coach said, ain't going to waste my time, wasted my time.
Y'all never did it, but at least somebody did it. You get vindicated when you saw it. All right. So I want to talk to you about, I'm trying to understand, because, you know, I'm like fixated on what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets next year. And I keep being, every time I think I don't understand what he's talking about, I get more confused. And I want your opinion on this. So Aaron Rodgers, I don't know why he's calling out. Oh, he's on a Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
And he's calling out this dude, Ryan Clark. Do you know Ryan Clark?
Of course.
Okay.
Man. Ryan Clark's a good dude.
Okay. So he's talking about the state of ESPN, the sports center of my youth, Aaron Rodgers. Those guys made highlights so much fun, and that's what they showed. Now it's all talk shows, which is what he was on in the podcast, and people whose opinions are so important now, and they believe they're the celebrities now. There's a lot of people talking about the game now, both non-former players and former players who are trying to stay relevant fame-wise, which seems like what he's doing. So the takes and the criticism, I think, are a lot different than they were in the mid-2000s. I'm talking about these TV experts on TV who nobody remembers what they did in their careers. So in order for them to say, well, he goes on and on and on. And then Clark rips him back, and he's like, I find it extremely funny that he's saying this on a show with a man who, as great as he was, as a punter, is far more famous as a pundit in McAfee.
Yes.
And A.J. Hawk, who I felt like was a good player, but is now on TV and gets to give his thoughts as well. My issue with him is you're doing the exact same thing like you're talking shit about. He didn't say that part, but you do the exact same thing. And the reason you're getting this opportunity to say these asinine things is because someone is paying you who is exactly the same thing that you're now speaking out against. Then he said he's a fraud. Well, I heard a bunch of other insults at him. This dude's one. It's good. Dude, why? Does he get paid to say stupid shit? Does he say, is he just trying to get people to talk about him? Or is he really just that?
Well, this is what you have to understand. Aaron Rodgers is like a spoiled child.
Okay.
Now, he forced his way out of Green Bay. Mm-hmm. He's not going to, but he forced his way. I
understand.
Yep. If he had been different, the exit would have been different.
Got it.
And now he's with the Jets. So, God forbid Does he think he's playing good football?
I
Because
would- I
he went
can't
to New York for
imagine-
his football.
I can't imagine
not
he
his
thinks that.
commentary. But what we're going to remember more about New York is
bad
him doing this battling on TV and radio
Correct.
compared to how many games he played.
Correct.
Like, he is a 4-time MVP. Why would you be trying to argue your resume with other? There is no other 4-time in Peyton Manning.
Correct.
He does a show also.
Correct.
Everything that you're saying, Peyton Manning does that show.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, Aaron Rodgers is right. In my day of broadcasting, because I used to say this to some other people at ESPN. I'm not going to mention their names because they're doing other stuff now. And I used to tell them, I remember you playing.
Mm-hmm.
But when I listen to you on TV and radio, it seems like you forgot how hard the game was. So I do understand Aaron Rodgers.
Frustration with what they're saying, or
Yes, like I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But his comeback, it's not valid on a show that he's being compensated for. Now, maybe he thinks 4-time MVP, I should be compensated.
okay,
That's what that is, I think. And Ryan Clark, because you were not a dominant player, you had a good career.
Yep.
But there are at least probably 4 or 5 better other defensive players on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay,
Yeah.
so I understand that. But that still doesn't take away from Ryan Clark's commentary, because he's one of the best in this business. He's one of the most prepared, and Ryan Clark is more than fair. He's more than fair.
oh, he's just a spoiled child.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, not Ryan. Aaron Rodgers,
Well,
just a spoiled
I mean,
kid.
the response
It's a temper tantrum.
when they've won 4 games. Let's talk about that.
We don't want to talk about that. He ain't going to talk about that.
Okay, he
And
wants
people
to talk
shouldn't
about
have to ask him about
who's
that.
vaxxed and who's not
Correct.
vaxxed, and
Yep.
you're part of the overall conspiracy theory. Okay,
so should the Lions is, this is going back a little bit because it was a great game to watch. It was not a lot of defense, but they lost 48-42 to the Bills. Lions are pretty banged up. Okay,
lost 3 different starters, kind
know.
of banged up.
So the Lions, are they still your favorite in the NFC?
No,
Okay.
My favorite in the NFC is Philadelphia.
It's Philadelphia.
And because I believe some of the key losses on the defense, especially the defensive tackle up front with Philly's offensive line and Barkley, that's a bad matchup problem. And I gotta think Dan Campbell, the more he does this, sometimes I think it's the luck of the draw, because that going for it on 4th down, it doesn't make sense.
I know.
Like some of the decision making, it don't make sense.
No.
Like, and he's got a really good team. And I know when you start with a philosophy, but sometimes the percentages, man, you have to play the percentages, but I think this whole tough guy image that I can always go for it, it will come back to bite you.
Correct.
Because you run out of 4th down
you
plays.
live by it, you're going to die by it.
Like you
too.
run out of how many plays you can call on 4th down.
Correct. And now everybody knows anyway. Like, you ain't surprising nobody.
No.
They're very prepared, regardless. So it's So Philly though. All right. So do you love Philly's head coach? No. Okay. So is that mean? Because I've heard you and
but he hadn't said anything dumb in like 6 weeks.
Forget about saying something. Is he an above average head coach in the NFL?
Yes.
He is.
I don't think that they have such superior talent that you can win 11 games, 12 games. Like they could, they could win 15 games this year.
Correct.
I don't think you can be an average coach and do that in the NFL.
So you're
now, I do believe that you can have weaknesses that can be amplified. And I believe the weakest part of his game is his talk game.
Yeah.
Like, if I was going into a club with him, I'd be like, hey, man, listen, put your credit card out. We're going to buy these girls some drinks and everything. I don't need you to say nothing until after you drink, too. By that time, I should have everything under control of what we're going to be doing.
You ain't got to say nothing.
Yeah, well,
actually, you don't need to say nothing later. Just nod your head.
Yeah. Just let's start that way.
All right, so your pick right now, you like Philly, and is it Buffalo or is it Kansas City?
I'm
Or
going
is
with
it
Kansas
somebody
City
else?
still.
Still Kansas City.
I think Kansas City is better than Buffalo, and Buffalo is going to have to beat them with no elite receivers in Kansas City. And I do believe Patrick Mahomes is going to play this week. Then he's going to rest week 16, week 17, and the bye week.
Yeah.
So
He'll be well rested and ready to rip, him and Andy Reid.
yes,
Why can't the Bills, or why won't the Bills, or maybe they have, why can't they get Josh Allen an elite receiver?
no, it's not as if they haven't. They just traded Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I know that.
And because of, and he kind of talked his way out of Buffalo.
Yeah.
Then they drafted the Coleman kid from Florida State. He's been banged up this year. He is a future star.
But not a star today.
In the rebuild, they had to remake the defense. They had to do some cap stuff.
But if you were a GM, would you have not gotten a proven guy right now to help Josh
Well, they
Allen?
have Amari Cooper.
Okay.
So Amari
Yeah.
Cooper is a proven guy.
Yeah.
And he's made their passing game drastically better the last month and a half that he's been there. But I'm just saying, when you get down to this, they don't have a weapon that I'm afraid of. There is no one that puts fear in me. There's no one I got to double cover. Spagnuolo can blitz them. He can come after the quarterback. He can shut down the run lanes of Josh Allen and kind of limit that offense. So that's what. You ain't going to put 7 guys in the box if you have a dude out there, because I'll throw it right up over his head. And my guy, even with your guy covering him, I'm better than him. That's what this is about. That's what Brian Billick used to say. Hey, man, if you go out there one-on-one on my guys, guess what? My guy is better than yours. How do I know that? Because I'm getting ready to throw it up to him, and you're getting ready to see it.
That he's better.
My guy.
My guy.
My guy's better than your guy.
All right, so the NFL, we should put them in charge, I guess. They should be in charge of the Department of Defense. They want lawmakers to give state and local authorities the ability to intercept drones near NFL games. So I saw this shit about drones in New Jersey. Are there that many drones flying over these games trying to catch what? Footage? They said drone sightings in NFL games have increased to around 2,800 in 2023. And in 2012, there were 12 that they saw. So what are they doing? Like, it's on TV. What are they trying to do? What are they?
I don't know, but it's a very dangerous situation.
I would agree with that.
And the reason why, because also you have drones dropping packages all around the world now, which is a different story.
Yeah.
And you have a captive audience.
Yeah.
It's a disaster, you know, and all the airspace over stadiums has always been protected. It's just that now the drones are the only new thing. Like, that airspace has always been protected. That's why the flyovers and stuff are so celebratory.
I know.
Because this is something we don't do. And when we do it, like, we're going to celebrate it with our military. We're going to do it in a special way. Everybody's going to be able to enjoy it. But no, not the drones. It's just where we are as society, things that we used to be able to do were very, very, very safe. And this is the thing that we definitely, a crowd like that we definitely have to watch out for. Yes.
So how about the Pro Bowl? So no football game in the Pro Bowl, but I got to read. I want you to help me on this. They added new events for the skills competition. First of all, as a player, as a fan, do you think that people are excited about being at the Pro Bowl, watching the Pro Bowl, taking in the Pro Bowl without the football?
No, I don't think excitement is it. I think that they love the product of the NFL, and this happens to be the segue. It's like, do you like speed bumps? Well, I'm going that way anyway, so I can tolerate them. They tolerate us because they on the way to the Super Bowl. We've had a great season last season, the one before that, the one before that, the one before that.
So people still watch it.
Guess
people
what?
Still go.
This is our speed bump. And we have electric players. We try to put them in events that you can see how athletic they are. Have them do different things that we used to do like as kids.
Correct.
So which in turn, that's new. So that's new clicks there. And we've always gotten our marquee players to participate in it. So that's the tie-in.
Like the precision passing, satisfying catches.
Yes.
Each team may compete.
Because no one's getting hit. No chance of nobody getting hurt.
Ain't nobody getting hit. That's for damn sure.
Yes.
That is for damn sure. Do you think Devontae Adams is regretting that he went to the Jets and went with Rodgers, or no?
Absolutely. And it's still cold in New York, bruh. He was playing in Vegas. All his money and stuff guaranteed. Now, he was trying to parlay probably into a new contract and everything, but no, the Jets thing is falling apart. Woody Johnson, they don't know what they're doing. I heard that he wouldn't trade for Jerry Jeudy, the receiver from the Cleveland Browns,
Who used to be
earlier
with the Broncos, who I love,
in the season because his Madden rating wasn't high enough.
He did not say that. He said that?
Yes, that was reported this week. Woody Johnson wouldn't trade for Jerry Jeudy.
I'm going to have to buy a team. We need to buy a team. I could do that. I could at least not look at the Madden rates. He really wouldn't trade for him.
Man, you would buy a team. That would be an electric day in my life.
Yes, it would be. Both of our lives. That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. I'm here with Chris Carter. Also, Mike Bibby. How you doing, Mike?
Good. What's going on?
Well, I was trying to go through all your accolades and resume, and it took me too long, so I had to shorten it. Some people don't have that problem in life.
Bruh, why don't you just say, dude did some stuff, and then read a couple things.
Now, here's how I'm going. This is too good. I'm reading some of it. Ain't a couple. There's too many. I cut a lot out. All right? Let me roll with this because this is really – first of all, I want to thank you, Mike, because what you don't know is you made me a lot of money.
This dude.
in college, Mike, and I was getting done trying to make a living, bro.
That's his bookie calling.
That was my bookie calling right there. He heard Bibby's on. He's like, he don't play no more. I'm like, but if he's playing in the backyard,
right.
I'm betting on Mike Bibby.
You.
All right? So let me tell you, you got NBA All-Rookie Team in 99, NCAA Championship, consensus first-team All-American, Pac-10 Player of the Year, first-team All-Pac-10, Pac-10 Freshman of the Year, number retired Arizona number 10, Mr. Basketball USA in 96, first team parade All-American.
Yep.
Now, here's what I like. I wish you had a more athletic family, though, Mike. He's a son of Henry Bibby, NBA, UCLA player, USC basketball coach.
You know I was drafted by the Eagles, dog, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I know about your pops.
He knows. Mike's mom, Virginia. You go through the family, nephews, the whole deal. Mike, and I mean it really, man. It's an honor to have you on Fully Loaded. And I really appreciate you jumping on. And before you and Chris start going back and forth about all kinds of stuff that I want to hear y'all talk about, I got a question for you. Yes, because you had made this comment. It's funny. I was saying this the other day to somebody, not about this, but you had said, I don't know when it was, on Hoop Dreams. I don't even know when that podcast was. And you had talked about dudes need to start playing more pickup games at the park. It's important. And you go on and on about why that's so important and what that's lacking and what it creates in people. And I want to be honest as a fan, Mike, and a gambling junkie. I watch the NBA a lot. I miss the NBA I grew up with, to be honest with you. I miss it. I miss the fire. I miss the blood. I miss it. Mike, I miss it. I miss dudes diving through other dudes. Talk to me about that comment, but also how you kind of see the game today, the game you lived through as you're a professional basketball player.
Well, growing up, I always, we were always played at park. We played outside when I was growing up. So we try to find any game we could, but it's different nowadays. It's a different time. It's a different game in the NBA. Just the kids now are just going off what they see in the NBA. Everybody's shooting threes. The kids want to shoot threes. They train. I talked to an NBA player, and he said, he went through both kind of stenches of kind of he was younger when we were older, and now he's kind of an older guy now. And he said that they don't even practice anymore, and it's crazy. I think it's just, as he said, everybody has their own trainer. They come in, they work out, and that's it. And I think that's the reason why people are getting hurt and they're not able to last as long, because when we practice, we used to take those beatings, and you get hit. You learn to play through those hits. You get a little bruise. You learn to play through all that. So we got used to playing like that. We practice. When we play, we practice. We'd go in there. We'd have 3 minutes. You're down 2. You got the ball. You got to try to make plays in game situations. And I just don't think that they do that anymore. And it just you get analytic guys that I don't think probably ever played basketball before and put it out and say, this is the way basketball is supposed to be played. And now everybody's going for it. And the viewing's down. I don't know why exactly the viewing's down, the NBA and all that stuff, but that might be one of the reasons why. I saw a game the other day with Chicago and the Hornets, and 75 missed 3-pointers that game.
Right.
And no one wants to come and see it. They want to see if you have skill. They want to see you come in and be able to read a defense. Boom, make it go one-on-one with your guy. Go out there, give it all your all, and play basketball instead of stuff just coming down, boom, you're on the fast break 3-pointer.
Well, there's a couple things about not only the NBA, but this generation of athletes, because that's what we're dealing with in the NFL. That's what we're dealing with in college football. Not only the regulation as far as they can spend less time on the field, but now they're spending less time in their pads. And I try to tell, this generation has more skill and technology, but they're not better players because their body hasn't been toughened enough. I missed 4 games of my first 200 games in the NFL.
I watch you, Chris. You're one of our first draft picks on Madden every year. We go through, we have drafts, we have old schools, and it's crazy because you play the games, like I play against my kids and stuff, and I'm going for MJ, I'm going for Shaq, I'm going for Magic, I'm going for all the old guys, and I mean they're letting me pick all the old guys because they're getting all the new guys. And the older guys like you, Chris, your numbers were gaudy. It just shows how good you guys were, that all you guys are 98s, 99s, 97s, all the way through. It just shows what type of game that you guys had.
Yeah, hey, show that younger generation how to unlock me, because I get a little percentage every time I get unlocked. Every time they unlock the legend.
No, we go because we have this old game. There was an old game. It might have been like Madden. It was an old game. I forget who was on the front, but we used to take the time. We used to go look at the numbers there and have 2 TVs up there, lock in the numbers, and the numbers will come in high because that's where you were on that game. But when you unlock the stuff, it's different. You got to pump them up and get them going again. But we took the numbers straight off that one Madden that had everybody on it.
I'll tell you what, man. When you said about the NBA, Mike, I'll tell you, I live in Southern Florida. So the Heat's the closest thing I get to go see. And to piggyback on what you said, man, I don't want to pay. Anybody can shoot a 3-pointer. Whether it goes in or not, anybody can take a basketball, stand behind that line and shoot it. I want to see people do what the rest of us can't do at a level where they genuinely care so much about winning that I feel like, hey, man, and I did pay to get in there, right? Like, that's one of the things I've learned by listening to Chris, a lot of other guys talk. So I'm thinking, man, if I was a pro athlete and dude cussed me out, I'd jump in the stands and beat him up. And they're like, yeah, that doesn't work that way, dude. Like, grow up. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, you were blessed with talent. Be better than that. But, Mike, in the NBA right now, and somebody asked LeBron about it the other day. He's like, dude, it's just we shoot too many threes. I'm not going to get into it now, but something's got to change. What can be done about the flow of the game, if anything, to make it more competitive and not a 3-point shooting contest?
Just go back to because they took away the mid-range jump shot, and you watch the game today, and the superstars have that. You got Kevin Durant that shoots the mid-range Booker, Chris Paul, DeRozan. So you got the superstars that still shoot it. The guys that aren't really on their level, they don't shoot. I talked to this one kid one time. And I had just started getting back into NBA stuff. And, he wanted me to watch some film on him. And, he was with the Toronto G League, I think. And I watched some film on him. And I just told him, like, hey, once you come off that pick and roll, that mid-range jumper is there. You got to take it. And he came to me. He's like, they will not let us shoot mid-range jumpers. And I was like, hold on, wait. They won't let you do what? He said, we either shoot a 3 or a layup. And I said, you're kidding me, right? He's like, no, that's it. If we shoot a 3, if we shoot a mid-range, they'll take us out the game. So, I mean, it's just, you got to bring that back in the game. That's just the way the game is, the old style game. I mean, I love a lot of the players that still play today, and I can sit there and watch, but the threes are getting out of hand. 60, 70 threes a game is too much, man.
So what do you do? What can you do about it? Aside from that, I'm being serious. Is it that big a deal? You think anybody inside the NBA with any influence is talking about making a change that would stop that or inhibit it as much?
I don't know if they can because the analytics has taken over. You know what I mean? And they
Absolutely.
three is more than two, so that's their mentality. Three is more than two, but four is more than three. So I mean, are you going to put a 4-point line in there too, and just everybody start launching 4-pointers? So I mean, it has to be. I don't know. It might take a while to change because I mean that's what they put in the game of everybody shooting threes now, and whether you can shoot them or not.
Yeah, I think that's always going to be a part of it. It's hard to reel that back in, but I think that one way you could correct that because there's no defense being played. I still like to play on the weekends and everything, and I feel like I know I play better defense. Harder defense, not better at this point in my life, harder defense than a lot of these NBA players. What are you seeing night in and night out in the NBA? And how many points would you get a game in the NBA with the defense they playing?
I mean, I used to live off playing off of the pick and roll. I was a big pick and roll player. I'm shooting that mid-range jumper whether somebody tell me not to shoot it or not because that was my game. And I mean, it's just a defense. I mean, it's different. Like the fouls where, like the whole thing just changed. Like the regular fouls back then, now is getting looked at. I mean, if I swing at the ball and accidentally hit you in the head, I'm not swinging for your head. You can see I'm trying to block the shot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a different game. I think it's softened up a little bit, and you got a few players out there that play defense. Defense is hard, so no one really wants to play it anyway. But now when you just take just everybody shooting 3-pointers, there really doesn't have to be no defense played anyway.
Right.
Hey, so Mike, I just was watching last week because I happened to be in Vegas, and they had that tournament, and I'm trying to get into it. Like I tried, Mike. I gave it hell, bro. I'm like, let me. Has this been a good idea for the NBA? These other teams off. I'm trying to understand the rationale, and I can't, as a fan or even a businessman, understand the thought process behind it. Why is it going to be something around for a while?
I mean, I think it generates money, and that that's a good thing for everybody in the NBA. It generates money. I mean, you can see when those games are going on, they play a lot harder. Like it means something to them. So I mean, I think that probably just might.
Yeah, they were playing defense.
Yeah, and I think what I think. What I don't like is that 12 teams get into the playoffs now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's what you work all season for. When we were playing, I played a lot of games. You look on my stats, you see a lot of 80s. I took those last 2 games off because we couldn't move up and down in the standings. And so now that's when I get my rest. 2 games before the playoff starts, I take those 2 games instead of be 12 team and have a chance to make the playoffs. That's crazy to me. Like that's what you work all season to get. I mean, you still have a chance in your last place in the conference. You know what I mean? It just gives everybody a chance. And I think one year Miami, I won't say got lucky, but they were the 12th seed and ended up making it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the regular season really didn't do anything for them. I mean, you half-ass the regular season, get 12th, and you still make the playoffs.
Yeah, the cup to me is a business decision by the league. They tried to make the least most entertaining part of the season, which is the beginning, because you're also going against college football and pro football. So you're never going to come out of those, 2.5 months, November and December, with great numbers, because this country, it's a football country. But they also made a deal with Vegas as far as a future franchise. So now they've taken the venue that it's not home and away. So now you're playing a tournament in Las Vegas, which is one of their future business partners. So for me, it does help one group, and that's the back end of the bench, the non-guaranteed contracts, those last 3 or 4 guys, and those other 3, like 6 guys, because if they win, they're getting $500,000 apiece. That's a big payday for them. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's probably more than what they probably make. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, I
Mhm.
mean, it's just, like I said, like you said, Chris, it's a business decision. I think it generates more money for the NBA. And I think that's probably the reason why they're doing it.
But
I can't really see no other reason why.
and you talk about the what kind of why is that? Where's that background? Is that us?
No,
That you might see some.
it's this dog. It's a dog barking
Oh,
over here.
okay.
My
All
bad.
good, bro. I just want to make sure it wasn't me. Don't even
We
worry
got a
about it.
Frenchie, man. He goes wild sometimes.
Dude, Mike, you do you, bro. I'm good. Want to make sure it wasn't my end.
Hey, yeah, bro. Yell at that dog. Especially tell him don't be barking at black people, man. We don't like that, man.
He don't listen, man. He's a menace.
He's barking at me.
Okay.
He's barking at me. That is a white guy, and I'm barking at a white guy. So let me when you talk about being a football country, you know what's funny? I still don't believe there's anything like March Madness. I don't think there's anything like NCAA, but I'm sorry, I love football. And Mike, basketball hates me with a passion. I play baseball, football, I play basketball to stay in shape, and boy, does that game hate me, because I suck at it. It hated me.
Yeah.
And I didn't hate it, but I ain't good at it, bro.
Right.
Baseball, football, what happened about, I don't know. But there's nothing more, and the grind, the way the guys play, and the flow of the game.
Let me teach you something.
Go ahead.
Because you love amateurism.
Yeah.
But you love the facilitation of the tournament, because there's nothing else that we love that we don't know information, because we don't know the players. Yeah. So we're in love with, oh my God, get your bracket. Oh my God.
Hey, no, let me tell you. No, I'm in love with
and Cinderella.
Yeah, I love all that. That's all great.
Yes.
But I love watching these dudes play that mother freaking hard. And I see it in the NFL.
Yes.
And I see it in the college football, and now the playoffs. I see all that. And I've seen it. You know, I like what's happening in college football, but then that's a different day.
Now can I finish my thought?
Well,
you have an appreciation for amateurism.
I would agree with that.
Right, absolutely. So that's what I was getting like.
But I'm telling you what I like. He's telling me how I like what I like. I'm telling you, I like the NCAA tournament. I
see how you roll. I know what you likes.
Hey, yeah, you do. Yeah, that's true.
It's exciting because all it takes is one game. You know, like when we won the national championship, no one expected us to be there. You know, we started off slow, but then we got hot. I wouldn't call it a Cinderella story. We got hot at the right time. That took down 3 number 1 seeds.
It's magic.
And we're champions. You know what I mean? Which no one ever expected. I mean, it could happen.
Hey, Mike, I bet on you.
One game.
I bet on you. Yep, I bet on you. I made a lot of money, bro. Those odds. I bet on you to win a tournament, that last championship. But you are right. But can the NBA because I'm going to follow one quick question, Chris's point. They play a lot harder in the cup. They play defense. Mm-hmm. Is there any shot, Mike, that there's an NBA where more often than not they play harder? Because when you watch as a lay person like me, I think when I watch the Heat go up and down and play anybody, I'm like, eventually some team's going to have more points, but does anybody really care halfway through this?
There's really not a lot of defense. So you get some teams that preach defense. I mean, it looks different out there than when you're playing. Believe me, it looks a lot slower than what, like, you watch a game and it looks a lot slower than how you're really out there moving. But I mean, I think the only change has to be changed within the NBA of maybe the coaches cutting down the 3-pointers and not shoot so many threes. Because I mean, that's the problem. Just everybody shoots a fast break. No one goes for layups anymore. No one wants to be fouled. No one wants to foul hard. Someone gets in the lane. Okay, I mean, I remember I used to have a few big guys on my team, older guys, that'd be like, let him come down the lane. Like, he fouled you hard, let him come down the lane. I got something for him.
Right.
Stop down the lane.
Yeah. Yeah, let him through.
And it's just that you have, like, everybody's young now. Like, you don't have a lot of older veterans on that bench with you anymore. So a lot of the guys that are on that bench are rookies or guys trying to make the team or guys that haven't established themselves. You know, and there's very, very, very few guys left. Maybe like Jeff Green. Like, it's hard to see because a lot of these guys are like enforcers, but they're not on the court. There's not many of them anymore.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to get all the older guys out. You know.
Yeah. So Mike, what happens with Miami Heat? Are they going to trade Jimmy Butler? Should they trade Jimmy Butler?
I mean, I think they should. I mean, a lot of times when you get guys on teams that have been there for a while or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but like it's time
Mm-hmm.
for a change for probably both of them. When
Yeah.
I was in Sacramento, I didn't want to leave Sacramento, but it was time for me to go, and I knew that. The management knew that, and so we decided to part ways. But it's time to give it up. But I think he's a great player. I think any team he goes to, I think will put an automatic threat for the playoffs.
Well, I don't know about a great player, Mike. I might have to disagree with you. I think he's had some great seasons, but right now, I don't think that he's a one-man band. Like when he came to Miami, like I think the last couple years had taken a little half off of his step. He's had a multitude of injuries there. I do think Jimmy Butler, he's one of my favorite players, the way he played. I took his J's off his feet at a game in Philadelphia. I was sitting under the bucket. So he is one of my favorite players. But I just think at this stage, he'd be better off served going somewhere else and adding to a team that's got a couple other premier stars.
He's a threat wherever he's going to go. But like you said, Chris, he might be over the Miami situation. He might be like he might just be in that mindset of, well, they see I can still play. They see I can still put up numbers. Let's try to work on something. I'm half-assed here until I go somewhere in the situation I want to be.
I believe Jimmy Butler is one of those kind of players that every 3 or 4 years he got to go somewhere else. I guarantee you that joker probably switched middle schools, elementary school, a teacher didn't like him and everything. Like, I guarantee you, if you go back into it, you can see a transition is good for him.
Yeah, I just need to put him somewhere else. I think he might get the energy. When you get traded to another team,
yeah, you
like
see
a
that
new kid at school, you get new love, you get the attention that you're looking for. So I think he could go in and be a good second, third option on a real good team. Maybe even fourth if you need to.
Yeah. So switching gears, Mike, college basketball. Not that I'm trying to write this down, but I need your help. I'm a big UConn guy. I was born and raised in Connecticut. All right. So what are your thoughts? First, I'm going to start there, and I want your pick. What are your thoughts on Hurley winning a third one in a row? Like, what kind is that? Is that even on the table for the current team doing it that? Like, what are your thoughts?
It's hard. It's almost I would say close to impossible. Now I'm gonna say all the way impossible. But I love his passion, what he gets out of his team, how he brought the culture back together for that team. And any player would love to see their coach fight for them the way he does. So that's going to push them over to the top. But two is hard to back-to-back's hard to win. Three is really tough.
I can't
see them getting three in a row.
I think their seeding, I know they're going to be a different team in March.
Yeah.
Their schedule to start off was
brutal.
Like a brutal schedule. So I know he's going to get them together. If they get the right type of seeding and get placed in the right bracket, I do believe they're a Final Four team. Now, if they get to the Final Four,
I got my money
you got to put some change on them. You got to.
That's not a bad, but I think Final Four is good. Championship, I think it's hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think? Who do you like? There's going to be a lot of
pressure on them to win that third in a row. A lot of times the teams do good when there's no pressure on them. It's a one and done. So if they come out against a team and they get hit in the mouth first, you never know how to react because, oh shit, we got the game's almost over. This might be our last game. So pressure busts pipes. So you got to see how these kids react.
Who do you like? Who do you like, Mike? If you was going to pick one team and win that championship this year, college basketball, who'd be your pick?
It's tough, man, because I want to say Arizona, but they're struggling right now, man. It's tough to see them struggling. And I've been to a few games. I like Houston. I like Connecticut too. But you never know until you come. This doesn't mean anything until you get to that March Madness. So I like Houston. I might have to go with the University of Houston. I just like the way that they're coached. I like the way how tough-nosed they are, and you always get a defense out of the team. They play defense, and they'll get out there and they'll score on you as well.
All right, Mike. I'm going to bet a bunch of money at University of Houston.
Okay.
You know, I'll send you something that comes
they were
through.
good last year,
We're going to
too.
take them.
Yeah.
So, as college football, Mike, you a big college football guy?
I watch it. You know what I mean? I'll sit down with the coach and maybe get a meal, eat some lunch and watch it. But I can't I can't watch a whole football game and just sit there and just stay for the game. I can't.
Can't do it.
No.
All right. So who through your career, man, who was your favorite coach to play for, dude, and why? Anywhere. College, pros.
I mean, I love Lute Olson. Lute Olson was his aura was different. Like he got the respect from us just because it's Coach Olson. He walked around, his hair was you never seen his hair out of place. He was the man of Tucson. But in the NBA, my best
recruited me at Iowa.
Huh?
Coach Olson recruited me at Iowa. I was from Ohio.
Yeah,
I got an offer in basketball from every team except Georgetown and the University of North Carolina, who happen to have a guy named Michael Jordan.
Yeah, if you play ahead of him, that would have been tough.
That's a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
If I said that on the podcast, man, as soon as him hear that, man, something be coming back at me.
Yeah, you already know that's coming. But Rick Adelman and Mike Woodson were my two best coaches that I had. So there was two different things. Adelman was more on the court guy. Make sure you got your stuff right. Wouldn't conversate much off the court with you.
Yeah.
But Woodson, all around, I think Mike Woodson was my best coach as far as it was. I went there, I think my 10th season, maybe 8th, 9th, 10th season. I went there, and the way he coached, the way he took care of the guys. He was an old school coach. He always asked me like, "Hey, how the guys feeling? We're tired, Woody. Okay, we're gonna take the day off, get them right, make sure they're ready for practice tomorrow." So he was just a player's coach, and he's probably one of the best X and O's players I've seen. You know, I coached the high school for a while, and I used a lot of his X and O's that he used during the NBA. And it's just he has a lot of good stuff, man. I have to go with probably Mike Woodson as my all-around favorite coach.
So when
he's in Indiana now.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he was my brother Butch's college teammate at Indiana.
Yeah,
1976.
Yeah.
Indiana High School Player of the Year. My brother Butch was 1976 Ohio Player of the Year. Both of them decided to go play for Bobby Knight.
But Butch is my guy too. I went through a couple of years ago. I went to the NBA assistant coaching program with Butch, and a great guy. I still talk to him to this day. You know, asked if he could help me and stuff. I love the guy too. He's tough, but I love him, man. He's old school too, man. I love it.
Oh yeah, tell him good advice he gave his baby brother. When I had all those offers to play football and basketball, he told me to go to BYU. I said, how long am I last on BYU? How long that gonna last?
A lot of the time he knows what he's talking about. That didn't sound like too much right there.
Right.
Maybe he did. Maybe he thought you needed something else.
Yeah, don't go to Ohio State, go to BYU.
Maybe he thought there was something else there. At all these old school players, Mike, and you played in the era, who was the toughest dude you ever played with or against? Baddest dude, toughest dude, just hardcore.
MJ, MJ, Shaq, and Kobe. Shaq's the most dominant player I ever seen. Like you watch the films, like you go out there and you're like fouling him, and it's not doing anything. It's not.
Yeah, they ain't calling people riding his back.
He ain't making a dent on it either. Like he ain't making a dent in it. Like he'll go up there and he's the most dominating player I've seen. I'd have to say, like in his prime that I've seen on the court, I'd have to say like my prime of me being out there for my 14 years, my best player I ever played against is probably Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Amen. Just a second coming of Michael Jordan.
Amen. I miss those days. Mike, really appreciate you getting on. Appreciate your time. I know you're busy.
No, great insight.
Appreciate you gracing us with all your insight, and it was I loved it, man. It's good to talk to you. Good to see you.
Thank you. I'm gonna give a shout out to our podcast too. We got a podcast too. Me, Eddie House, Ty Ellis, Straight Game Podcast. You can find it on anywhere where you watch your podcast and YouTube.
Straight Game.
Yeah, straight game.
Subscribe,
Straight game.
like, download it, get it. Straight game. Don't miss out. Straight game. They'll be on it, Mike. We'll push the hell out of it.
All right, thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Thank you, man.
Mike.
Appreciate you, bro.